All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim,
Glory
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh
forever and
Bahashem,
ever, so
Yahweh
let it
Shai,
be true.
Barakatah, Yahweh
Love, honor, and
Bahashem,
respect
Yahweh
to the
Shai.
Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and to His Holy Son, Yahweh Shai, who died for the 12 tribes of Israel. And double honors to the apostles of GMS, to the 4 major prophets, the minor prophets, and the hopeful elect, the 144,000, the saints, the Akim, who are pushing the word of God to the 4 corners of the earth, on the streets, risking their lives day in and day out. And shalom to the great multitude of brothers and sisters and children who are watching these videos. We're on another lesson today. And today's lesson is going to be the end of peace on earth. And we're in that time. We're in tribulation, and we're in the 6th seal. Okay? So a little bit of what's going on today. I'm just going to put a little bit out there. Like I said, it's heating up between Russia and the West. And when I say the West, that's talking about Europe and America, Canada. That's the West. So Afghan commandos that were trained by the U.S. forces and NATO forces are being recruited by Russia to fight in the Ukraine war after they were abandoned by America and NATO. Okay, that was like a little over about a year ago, when we just got out of Afghanistan. We left tanks there, we left helicopters there, we just abandoned. That's why nobody has no faith in America no more. They shake hands and they break deals. They break peace deals. They break everything. Anything that the United States and NATO are involved, they could sign. I don't care what paper they sign, they end up ripping it, throwing it in trash, burning it. All right? So all the nations, China doesn't trust America, Russia doesn't trust America, the whole Middle East doesn't trust America, the whole world. The word of this place is nothing but the toilet bowl. They have no honor, no code of ethics. Your politicians, your senators, the Pentagon, anybody that works for the government, there's no, you can't trust nothing that comes out of their mouth. Everything that comes out of their mouth is lies. They're the serpent, the children of the serpent. All right, so they were abandoned by the U.S. forces and NATO forces, by the West. So 30,000 Afghans are being, Vladimir Putin is hiring them to be involved with this war in Ukraine. So you got guys that were trained in Afghanistan, men that were trained in Iraq. They're all being hired by Vladimir Putin to fight this war. Okay. So another one, that Chechen general has called all Muslims to wage war, to rise up against the West, America and NATO, to fight what he calls the demons of the West. He says to fight these demons, to overcome the land of Satanists. This is coming from their words. You know, the apostles, the prophets, and the servants of God, we call this land the land of Satanists. Okay? Because that's what they are. They worship Satan. They worship the gods of Babylon, Assyria, the gods of Persia, the gods of Egypt. They're in the Cabal, black magic. That's what they're in. So even these Muslims, they hate the West. Like I said, and this is the guy. This man is the one that's running right now with those 70,000 elite Chechen soldiers that are going into Ukraine, and they can't wait to pounce on the 101st Airborne. Your news is ridiculous. They're saying, you got they're called the Screaming Eagles, the 101st Airborne. They're surely gonna scream when the Russians, they got 1.2 million men out there on the ground. 1.2 million. What's 5,000 of these paratroopers gonna do? These men carry AK-47s. All right? In Vietnam, Viet Cong were carrying AK-47s. Those are originally from Russia. Then the Chinese, they have their Chinese AK-47s. Those are the best rugged gun you can carry. In Vietnam, American soldiers had the M16. They would jam up on the American soldiers because once mud gets in there or water, they jam up. AK-47s, you could actually put them in mud. You could put them in
sand, dirt.
Yeah, you could put sand. You could put them in shit. That's what I'm trying to say. The gutter things, and that thing will keep on shooting. Like I said in the Holy Book of Jeremiah, they're going to cut down the U.S. soldiers. All of a sudden, everybody thinks there's some type of supreme team, like they can't be touched. AK-47 bullets go through walls, go through metal, go through cars. They'll go through all car doors, trucks. Doesn't matter. It'll go right through it like butter. And it'll go right through flesh and bones. We got 1.2 million men on the ground. And he's going to add more. They're saying they're going to add another 300,000. By January, who knows? There might be 2-3 million men. And that, like I said, he's recruiting all those men from Afghanistan, over 30,000. He's recruiting men from Iraq. These were guys that were trained by U.S. forces, now that have jumped fence and now are fighting for Russia, Vladimir Putin. So it's going to get ugly. Like I said, everybody thinks all these special forces, they ain't going to do, it's on. And like I said, they keep on saying that Putin's going to do something. No, it's going to be NATO and the U.S. that are going to do something because they want to get into this war. So NATO wants to go over. They want to go into Ukraine and go into Russia. Same thing with the U.S. That's why we do have about 150,000 U.S. soldiers in Poland, Eastern Europe, and Germany, and the Baltic states. So there's more than the 5,000 paratroopers. But like I said, they still can't compete with 1.2 million men. All right? Like I said, it's on. So I wanted to bring that out. So I'm going to start with the Holy Book of Revelations. And let's get it rolling. So in the Holy Book of Revelations, chapter 6, verse 3. And when he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." This is the four dreaded horsemen. The apocalypse. Okay? The Most High sending out these four dreaded horsemen. This is the time that we're living in. Like in the book of Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 9 and 10, lamentations, mourning, and woe. This is not the time. We're living in the end of the age. This is not the time to to be buying houses, to buy land, to have horses, going to Florida or buying a house out there in Phoenix or out there in Southern California, so you could be by the ocean and and thinking about retirement. This is not the time of retirement. This is not the time of vacations. We're in the time of war. Lamentations, mourning, and woe. So you have a lot of people that are planning to live off the beach in Miami, Tampa Bay. They think they're going to be living the good life. We're living in evil, dark times. We're in tribulation. It's going to escalate, man. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about what happened with Wall Street. They keep on putting it in the green, like they're deceiving the masses. All right, so they don't run and take their money out of the banks because their money ain't there. So where he says right here, and when he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." And another horse, a fiery red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth. Now I put that video yesterday, Denver Airport. That was built in 1995 by all the 33-degree Masons. Okay? They dedicated that to Satan when they built that airport. Like I said, there's an underground airport is just like NORAD. They have the Pentagon, they have the White House, Congress, Senate, the White House, everything, the whole judicial system, the Supreme Court, because they already know what's going on. Everything's going to be run from Colorado, and I'll bring out movies that ties in with the state of Colorado. They put all this information in those Hollywood movies because they know what's going to happen. Something big is going to happen. Like I already told you, it's going to happen out in the East Coast. Now Vladimir Putin, he has submarines, nuclear submarines, that can detonate nuclear bombs in the Atlantic Ocean, because the Atlantic Ocean is the East Coast, the Pacific is the West Coast. So he has these nuclear missiles that he could detonate in the ocean, in the Atlantic Ocean, that when they explode, it'll be over a 100-foot wave of water going into New York City, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston. Them cities will be totally destroyed. He doesn't even have to land it on the land. He could just detonate one in the ocean, and it'll start a tsunami. I already told you the coast is going to be toast. All right? It's over. So that's why that's why they have I already told you what's happening right here in Colorado. So that's why I put the Denver airport, the end of peace on earth. What did it say right here in chapter 6? He says the red horse and another horse, a fiery red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth. This is the time. Peace is being taken away. We're in the time of war. And I told you, America, we're going into Civil War and World War III. You're getting it 2 times, the double whammy. And the people should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. That's what's happening right now. What's happening in Ukraine. I already told you, you got the Ukrainians in there, you got the special forces of NATO, and you have special forces of the United States in there killing Russians. Over 80,000 Russians have died, and the real estimates of Ukrainians that have died is over 200,000. Millions have been displaced. Well, guess what? That's going to happen to the 4 corners of this earth, because China is about to take Taiwan, and Russia is going to start, all the Arab countries are going to join up with Vladimir Putin in North Africa, and I told you, Chinese and North Koreans are jumping into this. So that's why it's called a world war, and that's why he says right here, and the people shall kill one another. That's happening now, but it's gonna add that 10, 20, 30 times in the next 12, 24 months. And he was given a great sword. That sword means world war, okay? And the 3rd seal, verse 5, and when he opened the 3rd seal, I heard the 3rd living creature say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And this is talking about famine. The black horse represents famine. The red horse is blood, is war. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 living creatures saying, a quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the olive oil and the wine. Because the olive oil and the wine is for the apostles, the prophets, and the servants of God. When I come out here, I put the olive oil, I put the frankincense, and I pray to the Most High to keep the demonic spirits, because we're in a spiritual warfare. Every time I come out here to do a video, I get attacked. Sometimes I feel like just falling right over. And then you can see with the traffic, with all these cars that are going by and people. But I get attacked spiritually. I get attacked on the left-hand side. These demons like to attack me. So the olive oil is for the apostles, the prophets, the servants of the great multitude, and the wine. And that's and have the good wine, the real pure wine. You drink in the remembrance of who? The Son of God, Yahweh Shai, who you call Jesus Christ. That's with the wine. So he says, that quart of wheat for a denarius, that's going to be a person's day's labor for a piece of bread, for a piece of wheat, for a little bowl of soup is going to be a day's labor. And when the World War III really, and that's what's happening right now in Russia, he's paying his soldiers $20 a day to be on the front lines. $20 a day ain't much, but to the Russians, the whole economy is falling apart. So a day that $20 will feed that man's wife. They'll feed his mother and his father, his grandparents. It'll be enough to buy soup. These are guys on the front lines. Well, that's going to happen here in America because all the jobs are going to be lost. Guys will have to join the war to feed their family. And it's not going to be like going to a restaurant. We're just talking about having a little bit of bread and some lentil soup. You'll be lucky if you have that. That's called hyperinflation. We're going into that right now. You haven't seen nothing yet. In Valenzuela, just to buy a hamburger and some chips is a month's labor just to buy a burger. All right? The rich people of Valenzuela have to hire security, armed security to protect their neighborhoods. People literally kill each other for the trash can, waiting for the trash for those
dead flamingos.
They eat flamingos, they eat their own dogs and cats. It's bad in Valenzuela. It's been like that for 15 years. Well, look, guess what? That's coming here. So that black horse represents famine. And he said he opened the fourth seal, and I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." And I looked, behold, a pale horse, and the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed with him, and the power was given to them over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beast of the earth. That hunger is famine, that death is World War III, and civil war, because a civil war is going to happen here in the United States. Civil war is going to happen in China. Civil war is going to happen in Europe. On the four corners of the earth, people are going to rise up against the authority, against these elites. People are going to rise up. It's in the Holy Book. I'm reading what the book says. God already foreseen. That's why, and this book was written by who? John the Revelator. God and the angels showed him from over 2,000 years ago. He showed him America. He showed him the Statue of Liberty, the Empire State Building. He's seen it all. These are the visions that John the Apostle see. John the Revelator. So he says, and with the beasts of the earth, those beasts of the earth are animals attacking the people. You're going to have your pit bulls, Rottweilers, and your Dobermans and your German Shepherds God's going to put the spirit on the animals to rip you people apart. It happens here in Colorado. I'm always hearing about cougars ripping up people, bears, and Yellowstone. I'm always hearing about bears just ripping people to pieces. Well, these animals, he's going to put the spirit on these animals. And I'm always showing you the crows, the ravens, and I'll show you about the birds. God's going to show those birds. Let me tell you something what a bird can do. A bird going full flight right into your face will knock your eyeballs right out of your head. Birds could do a lot of damage, and there's billions of birds. So the Most High is going to multiply these birds, and they're going to just fly right into your children's heads, into your face. They're going to eat your eyes right out of your head. God is going to use these animals, the beasts of the earth. That's a weapon that he has against you people that are not with this truth. If you're not part of this elect, you're finished. All right? So he opened the fifth seal, and I saw another. So the fifth seal. And when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. Who are these? Who is he talking about here?
The Israelites.
Remember back in Revelation chapter 17, it talks about the whore, and she has the cup, the blood of the saints, because she's about to make her move against who? The apostles, the prophets, and the 144,000 who are making these videos. We're going to be under attack. All right? So a lot of brothers are going to get picked up, put in concentration camps, and and their final destiny they're going to cut your head off. They're going to kill a lot of brothers. This is not a game. You have brothers that are out there, they think this is a game. They go on vacations, on the sneak tip. They're having little sneaky parties. These are brothers that are not 24/7. This is not a game. I'm a full-grown man. And I've been tortured. I've been shot. People don't know that. I got shot in my leg. I got a metal rod from my hip to my knee. I got shot. I have 2 holes in my stomach. I got hit in the stomach. I've been hit over the head with center blocks. I've been on the battlefield. All right? But I pray to the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that I stand up in this day. Because this is not no game. This is not a game. You better be dead serious with this truth. I mean, you better be all the way with it, because this is not a game. It's going to get ugly out here, man. And they're coming for the brothers that are in this truth. Like, they mess with my videos, they mess with my views. Like I said, they have me on age restriction where under 18 can't see it. They do this. They know who's speaking the truth. And you got these rappers and these rockers. They get over 1 billion views. You got people that are drug cartels talking about people that they've killed. They don't get blocked. They don't lose their videos. I mean, you have whores dancing naked on YouTube and social media. They're praised. They got cash apps, Venmo. I mean, they're making money. They're doing all this. Us brothers, we're out here and we're being watched by the FBI. And we're about to be picked up. This is why I'm saying this is not a game. And that's why he says right here, and when he opened the 5th seal, and I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God. Because these are the brothers. We're out here on the 4 corners of we're on the highways and byways preaching the word of God. So we're an enemy to Satan. Okay, we're an enemy to this government. So we're considered terrorists. Yahushai, they call Yahushai. That's why it says he speaks blasphemy, and that's your government of America and NATO. They said they're going to speak blasphemy in the name of when they hear the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, an ancient Hebrew name. They speak blasphemy. They hate God because they're Satanists. So they're going to kill a lot of brothers that are out here on the streets. And that's why he says right here, and those who had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And this is the testimony to get the brothers and sisters to repent in the holy name, the ancient Hebrew name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's why if you're against that ancient Hebrew name, you're an antichrist. His name ain't Jesus. His name ain't Yahweh. All right? God has many titles. Omnipresent. He has many titles. He's all-knowing, but he has one name. His son, Yahushai. No one can get to the Father. You have to go through the Son, Yahushai, which his name means the Redeemer of his people, the 12 tribes, the elect. They're the only ones that are going to make it. So he says, and they cried with a loud voice. Who's crying? These are the brothers that died and went to the spirit world. They cry out. They're going to be crying out to the Most High, saying, send your son to earth to pick up the rest of the brothers, the great multitude, into the chariots. And it said, and they cried out with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth, to avenge our blood, because tens of thousands of the 144 are going to be picked up and their heads are going to be cut off. They're going to be tortured and their heads are going to be cut off. And that's why in the spirit world, the brothers are going to be, they're going to be praising the Most High, and they're going to say, avenge our blood, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Do you see what these Satanists did to us? They put harm on your servants. They laid hands on us. And it says, and until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth. And who's that? All these Satanists in your government, your senators, your Republicans and Democrats, they're gonna ban this holy book. They're gonna say you're a terrorist, and they're gonna pick you up if you're reading this book. See, I know what's going on. I know this is not a game. My life is on the line, but that's okay. If I lose my life in this, I can keep my head high because every man will be judged by the Son of God, Yahushai. So men who hide under the bed, who hide in the closet, there will be judged. All cowards will be judged. But the men that are out here who are doing the work will get the crown of life, in life or in death. Okay? So he says right here, he says, how long will you avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth? And a white robe was given to each of them, and it was said to them that they should rest a little while longer until both the number of their fellow servants and their brethren who would be killed as they were was completed. So that's the Most High Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, when the brothers, whoever gets their heads cut off and they're in the spirit world, he says, just wait a little longer. Like, he's going to avenge our blood. All right? And he's going to give them a white robe, which means peace. We're at peace. We're finally at peace with the Most High. Once you die and you're in this truth, you're going to the spirit world. And you're going to get that white robe. You're going to be at peace, and you're going to be rejoicing in the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, because you're going to know the time is close, that we're going to go down and rescue all the other apostles, prophets, and servants, and the great multitude. So it's a beautiful time. And he says, rest a little longer, and both the number of those fellow servants and brother who would be killed as they were was completed. The sixth seal, and I looked when I opened the sixth seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth. What's that great earthquake? This is the end of World War III. Them are the missiles, thousands of thermonuclear ICBMs hitting the earth. That's that great earthquake, and the sun's going to turn black from all the dust particles. Do you know it's going to take over 25 years? It'll be 25 years of darkness. People don't even have a clue what's coming. Like I said, just with 2-3 cities, which I believe is coming, that's gonna mess it up for 2-3 years of darkness. People just don't have no clue what's going on, man. They're totally out of their minds. It became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became red became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth. And I told you what the stars of heaven, those are the missiles. They're going to look like falling stars. When you see hundreds and thousands of these missiles, they're going to look like falling stars coming down to earth. As a fig tree drops its late figs when it is shaken by a mighty wind, and that's that nuclear wind. There's going to be a nuclear wind that are going to knock all these trees down to the ground. It'll be hundreds of miles an hour. Not like the hurricanes are 100, 150. We're talking about hundreds of miles of nuclear wind when those missiles hit. Multiple missiles, and with warheads. And it said, then the sky receded as a scroll, and it rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. That's how many missiles are going to hit this earth, that mountains are going to be moved out of its place. Islands will be totally underwater. Like I told you, those tsunamis, when those nuclear missiles hit the ocean, there's going to be tsunamis all over the land. And the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the commanders, the mighty men, every slave and every free man, hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks and in the mountains. And that's talking about There are going to be your military, your senators, your president, your government are going to be racing to NORAD, to Denver International Airport, and other parts of the world where they have deep underground rat holes. Because that's where all the rats are going to go. They're going to run into their little rat holes. Because they're the children of rodents. All right? And that's when they know that it's over. They know that's when the Son of God is coming through the clouds. They're going to run for their lives. When Yahweh Shai, he's coming back with a sword. He's not coming back with candy and ice cream and lollipops. And he said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us. And they said, these rich men and these people that are running for their lives, he said they run to the mountains and they tell the rocks to fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For that great day of his wrath has come, and who is able to stand when Yahweh Shai comes from the clouds? They're all going to be, the remaining people that are alive are going to be running for their lives, because they're going to see the chariots. The sky is going to be filled with chariots. And the one in Yahweh Shai, he's in a chariot.
The biggest.
Who knows how it could be? I don't know how it's going to be bigger than the state of Colorado, bigger than the state of Texas. It's just going to go for hundreds of miles, and then you're going to have smaller ones where the angels that are in them, like I said, they're small to huge, and they know it. NASA knows. They see the chariots coming in and out of the sun. Those are portals. They're coming. And that's a beautiful scripture right there. And they said to the mountains and to the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne. That's the Son of God, who you call Jesus Christ. His name is Yahweh Shai, and he's coming back with a sword, and he's going to smash the nations. That's in the time of Armageddon. He's going to smash them like when you smash grapes. You smash the grape, the blood out of the grape to make that wine. That's how many people are going to die during this time. So all praises to the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, so let it be true. Hope all you brothers and sisters were edified. And double honors to the apostles, the prophets, and the servants who are risking their lives every day on the four corners of this earth. And to the great multitude, keep on fighting and keep your dignity. The water.